And we're live. How's it going, everyone? Thank you for tuning into this webinar this wonderful Friday evening.
Thank you. I've been so excited about teaching this webinar ever since I came up with the idea on Monday what we're going to do today. How to give yourself an emotional enema. It's really, really important. I've been teaching this since 2015, and it's really, really exciting. It's usually a 3-day workshop, but you're going to get it all in 60 minutes. So, Mr. Holistic Motivator, why don't you start us off?
Well, so I have the pleasure to be alongside Grandmaster Dr. George Xavier Love. First of all, I want to give a shout out to everybody listening. Sandy, Serena, Gabrielle, Shani. The list goes on. Thank you so much for everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate y'all. We're going to give more shout outs. But today's about the emotional enema. When we think about emotional enema, what does that mean? There's emotion and there's an enema. Does both of them sound uncomfortable, don't they?
Well, emotion is energy in motion. It only causes a problem when you get stuck or constipated. If you're emotionally constipated and you're holding all your stuff in, you need an enema. And by the same token, if you're emotionally have diarrhea, where you just blah, 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 you're always expressing how you feel in this moment with no filter, then you also need an emotional enema. We got to get rid of that diarrhea.
All right.
Now, so let me start off by saying this is not to ridicule anyone or to tell anyone that they should not be in their feelings. You should absolutely be in your feelings at all times, unless it doesn't work for you, in which case you need to be here. So my purpose is not to belittle anyone or make anyone feel bad or wrong for their feelings. This webinar is for people who realize that after so many years, it doesn't work. I got to do something different. So if you want to do something different, then you're in the right place. The definition of insanity is to do the same thing expecting a different result. And there's an American ideal of the loner, the lone wolf, the guy who just overcomes all odds against all odds. No. You need a team. You need a family. You need friends. So when you're hugging somebody, they're watching your back and you're watching their back. So that is the purpose of tonight's webinar, is how to give yourself an emotional enema. Okay, are we ready to do deep dive?
Let's do the deep dive.
Okay, so first of all, we have to ID the issues. So what are your issues? In a 3-day weekend, we can go personally to everybody and deal with their issues. And when you're comfortable, we can bring that up. But everybody's got mommy-daddy issues. Everybody's got sister-brother issues, unless you're an only child. Everybody has family stuff with spouse, first boyfriend, second boyfriend, baby mama, relationship issues. Everybody's got those. So the core is the 4 heart hurts, which are abandonment, rejection, betrayal, and abuse. Now, in high school, everybody got rejected, everybody got betrayed, everybody got abandoned, and sometimes we got abused. So the issue is, some people overcome that. Other people are still stuck in that high school story of abandonment, rejection, betrayal, and abuse. Then the next issue is what we call the 3 demons. The 3 demons are unexpressed desires, unreasonable demands, and needing to look good or be right. Again, that's a particularly American way of being. I gotta look good all the time. I expect you to read my mind when we're in a relationship. You're supposed to know how I feel. And then that's the unexpressed desires. And then there's the unreasonable demands. I should be the president because I was on a reality TV show. Really? How's that working for you now? So what we want to do is ID the issues. So we discussed the 4 heart hurts, the 3 demons, but then there's the 3 poisons of anger, avoidance, and addiction. So I'm angry about X. I want to avoid Y, and I'm addicted to Z. Anger, avoidance, and addiction are the 3 poisons. Then there's the 3 parasites. The 3 parasites are: 1 lives in your head craving power. 1 lives in your chest craving possessions. And 1 lives in your belly craving pleasure. And that could also include perverse energy, and I don't need to go into details about what is perverse. But 3 parasites, 3 poisons, 3 demons, 4 heart hurts, and then lastly, there's the deadly emotions. We say 7 deadly emotions, could be 8, but there's the anger complex of frustration, resentment, shame, blame, guilt, and depression. Then there is the fear and anxiety, and we have levels of fear and levels of anxiety. Then we have worry, obsession, and compulsion, and that all affects our digestive system. Then there's grief and sadness and sorrow. So all those add up to the 7 deadly emotions. So none of those are negative. Those are all positive emotions. But when we are stuck in them, we can't get out of them. And you wake up every morning angry. You wake up every morning sad. You wake up every morning depressed. Now we got a problem. So that's the first thing we have to do, is ID what our issues are. The next thing is what I call tapping. Now, we have neural patterns of addiction. So I said this morning about Candace Pert and her book, The Molecules of Emotion. So what is it that our subconscious program, what caused that subconscious program? Was it the childhood programming, the childhood abuse, betrayal? What was the thing that caused it? And then we can break the neural pattern of addiction to pain and suffering. So we're going to teach you a 14-step sequence, which in by itself is like a 3-hour seminar. So we're going to race through that, and then you can get with me privately in a telemedicine conference, and I can take you through that. I've written a book about it. I've got a PowerPoint presentation. I've got a PDF. So I've got accumulated a ton of information about tapping to break your neural patterns. Then we have the 6 healing breaths. So we know there's 5 organs, but the Chinese said there's the pericardium and the triple heater, which is a completely separate system that's outside of Western medicine. So there is a breathing pattern and a color visualization of each of those. So we're going to go through those. Then there is the actual emotional enema. And in that, what we do is we find out where we have collected the stuck emotion. We drag that to the center, we push it down, and then we do a washing machine where we push the belly in and out 10 times, and then we literally fart out the emotion. Then we go through the 5 emotional release dances, which is what we do every day in the online Qigong class. So we won't spend too much detail on that. And then there's the 5 Qigong exercises, specifically for heart, lung, liver, spleen, and kidneys. And we did an afternoon class. So did you enjoy that class this afternoon?
I did.
You did. So that was the internal, and I know you did.
Fire.
So you got a chance to show off the stuff that that you learned a few years ago. So there's that, and we're going to briefly cover that, and then we can tell you where you can get access to that as well.
And we're going to back it up, because there's a lot of, and this is not a 1 hour session.
It's not?
It's two. No, I'm saying,
it's a 3-day session.
Yeah, this is a 3-day.
It's a 3-day
session,
retreat.
So we really can't do it in an hour. Let's get real with that. So what I like to do is I like to go deep. Right.
Let's go deep on one of the topics.
So we're gonna do one-on-one, and we're gonna ask you. By one-on-one, I mean
have them interact, and then we'll pick one of these topics that applies to you, and then we'll go deep on that. That's a great idea.
We'll dive deep on that. And then if you want the rest, you gotta come.
You gotta come to the retreat.
Into the Blue Dragon Tribe.
Exactly.
And you gotta join the tribe. So what we're gonna do is I have a couple questions for you. Okay. What emotions are you holding on to?
He's asking you that, not me that.
Yes.
What emotions are you holding on to?
So what emotions do you think you're holding on to? And where do you think you're holding those emotions? And if you don't know the correlation between emotions and the physical, what happens to the physical location of that emotion, we're going to tell you. So if you participate, then you can know why you may be having a shoulder pain, why you have a pain in the butt, you know. So all of that will get you on that. So we got regret, we got heartache.
Regret's a good one.
Can your heart be broken? There's a question we should ponder. Control. Inferiority complex.
Inferiority complex.
So as I put them out, can you point where those emotions are? Heart. Well.
Okay, so where do you feel regret?
Worry, spleen.
Where do you feel regret? In the chest? Center of the chest, the ribs, side of the ribs. Regret?
It's like grief. Would that be similar to that?
Liver.
Would it have to do with liver? That's anger.
Regret is liver.
Why is regret liver?
Okay, you don't regret the things you do. You regret the things that you didn't do. And regret is self-anger. You're angry at yourself. I should have done that.
Right.
What's wrong with me? Why didn't I do that? That's regret.
Right.
Okay? And so it's in your ribs. That's where you're going to feel regret.
In your ribs.
Mm-hmm.
That's deep.
So heartache,
rage,
broken heart,
mistrust,
obviously.
Anger, resentment, abandonment.
Anger, resentment, frustration, resentment, shame, blame, and guilt. That's also going to be...
Where's inferiority held?
Aha. So let's start with superiority and let's go to inferiority. When people feel superior,
chest up.
Is that pride? Is
that
ego?
They call it pride, ego, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
gorilla.
So inferiority would be the opposite of that. Okay?
So back.
Okay, so we know where inferiority is held, but right. Which organ is damaged by an inferiority complex?
Which organ is not getting oxygen? The lungs are not breathing right. So you're deep. It's like a deep rest. Deep rest.
What organ controls the spine? The kidneys.
Right.
The kidneys, the bone marrow. So inferiority is weak kidneys. Okay? You need kidney fire. You've heard me say that a lot of times. You got to have kidney fire.
Yeah.
If your kidney fire's out, you're cold and weak and feeling inferior. So how do you build up kidney fire? I taught you that.
But let's keep. How about the lungs? They said lungs.
Lungs for.
Oh, I guess my bad. I was out of the comments. Got distracted. They said they was just answering to the questions. Okay, so that's pretty. So the next question that I have for you is, you'll gain insight on how to explore, flush out, and alter those emotional states. So that's where you're gonna go into that. So thank you for everybody for sharing. Any more comments? No. So what can we begin to do about those emotions?
Well, the things I heard was broken heart,
Mm-hmm.
regret, and inferiority.
Right.
Those three things I think are pretty important. If there's something else,
And anger, rage and anger.
rage and anger. Okay,
Distress. Yeah.
So what did Yoda say? Yoda said,
Your anger.
no, Yoda said, you think it is anger, but it's actually fear.
I was gonna quote you.
You're gonna quote me, right?
Yeah, as the Yoda. But you didn't catch that. You didn't let me do it. You will not be hurt for your anger. You will be hurt by your anger. Quoted.
Punished.
Oh, you will be punished by your anger, which means you will not be punished for bringing the anger home. But when you get home with the anger, it's gonna beat you. Maybe it was not the nicest, but you kind of get what I'm saying. It's a beating that you do to yourself.
You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger. So, anger is a healthy emotion that keeps you from getting taken advantage of. But you can't stay in anger. So our objective is to transform anger into compassion and compassion into action.
Right.
Anger into compassion, compassion into action. Now, what is anger? Anger, when you're angry at someone, typically you're angry at somebody you know personally. Typically somebody that's in your family. Typically somebody you like. You're angry at somebody you like because they won't do what you want them to do. And why won't they do it? Why won't they follow your instructions? Why? Because they want something for you. And because they love you and they care about you, they want you to be better. But you don't want to be controlled. You don't want to be told what to do. So I'm going to do the exact opposite of what my mother wants. I'm going to do the opposite of what my father wants. You want me to go to medical school? Ha ha ha. I'm going to go to Wall Street and make $1 million. Contradictory. So our anger at the people we care about is because they won't do what we want them to do. Now, when you have anger towards a complete stranger, like a rock star or a politician or a dentist that goes to Africa and kills lions, that's really misplaced. Because you're not connected to Africa and you're definitely not connected to lions. If you want to be angry about something, you can be angry about the children that are dying in your hometown. You can be angry about police brutality. I mean, there's so many things to be angry about that's within 100 miles of where you live, rather than being angry about some dentist that flies to Africa to kill a lion. That's none of your concern. Okay? That's misplaced anger. Okay? So how do we control it?
How do we control it?
How do we control the anger? Okay. So first of all, you have to have compassion. So how do you develop compassion for yourself?
What if I'm full of regret? So how can I be compassionate if I'm like beating myself up? I'm getting beat by my anger and I'm getting beat by myself.
Yes. So your regret and your inferiority complex,
right,
and all the things, you can beat yourself up. I can beat myself up better than anybody. I can criticize myself better than anybody else can criticize me because I'm the one who knows my actual faults and weaknesses. Mm-hmm. So you can't say, you're this and you're that. And I'm like, yeah, really? Yeah, what do you know? I know.
So I have this concept, like when you talk about self-compassion, when you think about compassion, you usually think about like a lovey-dovey relationship or like...
Compassion?
Well, not compassion, but passion. When you think about compassion, you think about more of having a deep affection for another life. So the reason why I'm saying that is affection, meaning like being able to touch yourself smoothly. I'm going somewhere with it, so you don't have to like.
Okay.
Yeah. So just.
I'm listening.
Yeah, you're looking at me weird. So, compassion meaning that you're loving yourself smoothly, like you're treating yourself kind of like a touch of like when your mom touches you, and you're like super angry, and your mom just touches you, and you feel like I'm calmed down. So the reason why I mention is like when you're in a loving relationship, it's a lot of passion. But for you, you have to be in a loving relationship with yourself. You gotta have a lot of compassion. It's almost that nurture factor instead of saying like, oh, why did you do this and beating yourself with a belt, but more of like, oh, I get it, it's okay. But then taking action, like having that not force you, but empower you to act. Because at the same time, you're like the mother that's saying, it's okay, but you're also like the inspirational mother that's saying, you could do it, you could do much better than that, you could get better. So you're becoming a parent to yourself, activating your parasympathetic nervous system and getting out that sympathetic nervous system when you like want sympathy for yourself.
Isn't he a good student? He just rolled that whole thing. That's great, man.
Yeah, so
he's been listening to me for a couple of years now. All right. So inferiority complex has to do with the kidneys, and it has to do with the spine, collapsing in the spine, or standing up straight, standing in your power. Okay? Now, where is the power? The power is the third chakra, or the solar plexus, which is in between the sacral chakra, which is the second, and the heart chakra, which is fourth. So if we develop the third chakra, which is personal power, then that connects to the spine, which then forces us to stand in our power, and then that builds self-esteem and self-worth.
Standing in your power. I feel like I gotta stand up.
Power. Yes,
Yeah.
he's standing in his power.
I'm feeling it, guys. So tell us why you also need to do it physically. Like, why do you need to express the emotional state that is empowering rather than limiting? Why do you need to do it physically? I don't say negative or positive, I said empowering or limiting. Because emotion that's limiting can be empowering. Anger can say, oh, stand up for yourself, or anger can say, build a wall and then like stand down. So anger can be limiting or it can be empowering. So it's about being able to make that switch physically. So what can we do to make that switch physically? So for instance, like you were saying, if you're inferior, get superior.
You can change your posture.
Right.
That's a very simple and easy way to build self-esteem, is to change your posture. Secondarily, you have to gain strength. So I gain strength just by running. Walk a block, jog a block. Walk a block, jog a block. 4 blocks out, turn around, 4 blocks back. The next day, walk a block, jog a block. I did that for a week. Then I walked a block, jog 2. Walk a block, jog 2. I did that for a week. Then walk a block, jog 3. And then eventually I got up to where I was jogging 8 blocks straight, walk 1 block, jog 8 blocks back. So I built up my physical strength, which built up my posture, which built up my self-esteem.
That also build up your kidney fire too, right?
Absolutely.
Somebody said, how do you build up kidney fire?
It's through the breath. And we call that the fire breath. And that's breathing out.
Can you show them that?
You can. You show them the kidney fire. Show them the fire breath.
All right. So I used to do it with my arm going up and down.
Do that 60 times at bedtime. Do it another 60 times when you wake up. Then 3 days later,
That heated up my crown right there.
it does. It instantly heats you up.
Yeah.
Then 3 days later, go to 120 breaths, morning and evening. Then 3 days later, go to 160. And you keep going. Every 3 days, you add 60 breaths till you get up to 600. Do not go beyond 600 because then you'll be faster than a speeding bullet. You'll be able to jump over tall buildings with a single bound and stop a moving train. Yeah. Right.
You get dizzy. Fall out.
So the trick is start at 60, build up to 600 fire breaths a day. That's going to give you personal power. That's going to build your self-esteem.
But what if you don't feel good enough to stand erect?
Wow, how old are you?
I don't know if they want to answer. That's a personal question.
It's a personal question. Nobody can see you. How old are you? If you don't feel good enough to stand erect, what are you, 80 or 90? How old are you? They're not answering.
So basically, I think what Dr. Love is saying, you got youth in you.
Yeah. Anybody,
life in it.
anybody 20 years younger than me is a kid. That's the way I look at it.
So she commented, and you can't. I'm 25. She's my age.
She's your age, and she can't stand up straight.
Well, I want to tell her that she got something to stand for.
You got to stand up for something, or you will fall for anything.
She has something to stand for. I believe it. Like you have to. I think it's that inner belief, because think of like when life is winding you down. Like you ever seen the toy, and you roll it, and then the thing goes down, and the pot. So life is winding you down. Winding you down all the way, and then
grinding you down.
Grinding you down.
Grinding you down.
You get in a box. You get in a box, but what happens? Pop goes the
weasel.
Pop goes the weasel. So it's like your life can be like that. If you get winded down, you just have to pop out. They say that the harder you hit the ground, if your buoyancy is your level of resiliency. Buoyancy is called resiliency. If your resiliency is high, your buoyancy is high, bounce right back up.
Right back up.
You chest up.
That's it.
That's it.
So raise your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care.
Wait, where's the music? Play the. Let's
No, sing it. Don't play it. Sing it. What's
Open
the music?
your heart. Side to side.
Qigong side to side. Now open your heart. Side to side.
Qigong
side to side. Now open your heart.
There you go.
Side to side. Qigong. Wait, your arm not supposed to be bent.
Your elbows are not supposed to be bent.
Elbows, yeah.
Now, I wrote this music and I sang it for 4 years before I actually got music.
Let's do it though. I think we should do it. This
You
is
want
one
to
of
do
those.
that?
Yeah, this is one of those laid back webinars. Really quick, you let me warm up there.
Now rub your belly, side to side, side to side. Ball of chi in your hands. Clean your kidneys, side to side. Clean your kidneys, side to side. Side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now loosen your liver, side to side. Now fly to the sky.
There we go.
Now open your heart, side to side.
Qigong side to side. Now open your heart, side to side. Qigong side to side.
Now open your heart, side to side.
Qigong side to side.
Now open your heart, side to side.
Qigong side to side.
Now lift your lungs, side to side.
Qigong side to side.
Now lift your lungs, side to side.
Qigong side to side. Now lift your lungs, side to side.
Qigong side to side. Now loosen your liver, side to side.
Qigong side to side.
Now
So you're gonna step back and turn.
This is how we get rid of anger.
Side to side. Qigong side to side. Now loosen your liver, side to side. Qigong side to side. Now rub your belly, side to side.
Qigong. Acid reflux.
Yeah.
Rub your belly.
That was the music. That was the dance. of the 5 emotional release dances. We just gave you a little taste. But we do those every day in the online Qigong class. So if you want to learn the 5 emotional release dances, how to open your heart, open your lungs, open your liver, spleen, and kidneys, then you come to that morning class, 7:30. If you can't get up for the live, then if you sign up, then you can watch, listen later on. Okay? So we wanted to engage the audience. So this webinar is to give you an overview of all the different aspects I use to help you get intimately connected to your emotions and the choices that you make and whether they're going to be positive and beneficial for you. So I can say, do the acu-tapping, I can say that, but that's a 3-hour class, the acu-tapping. And then I can say, do the emotional release dance. That's another 1.5-hour class. So each aspect of this is rather long, and then it doesn't personalize what your issue is. So my objective is to get you to go to patreon.com/DRQILOVE, Dr. Chi Love. Patreon.com, Dr. Chi Love. And I will post PDFs of all the different aspects of what is included in the emotional enema. Now, the crux of the thing, the sweet spot of the emotional enema is, so remember we just did the fire breath? And that was strengthening the diaphragm. The emotional enema is below the belly button, where we tighten the anal sphincter and we tighten the ileocecal valve. So if you put your finger in the belly button to draw a diagonal over to the left, that is the sigmoid colon. If we draw a diagonal over to the right, that's the ileocecal valve. So the anal sphincter is a ring muscle. You know what your anus looks like when it closes. The top of the rectum is the sigmoid colon, and the entrance to the large intestine is the ileocecal valve. That's also a ring muscle. So you have 3 ring muscles right there. So if you tighten your abdominals, if you breathe out, breathe all the way out, hold the breath out, and then tighten your abdominals. And out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, breathe. So I want you to go to the bathroom. I want you to sit on the toilet. I want you to take a deep breath in, deep breath out, hold the breath out, and then close your anal sphincter and your abdominals, and then push it out. Pull it in, push it out, pull it in, push it out, pull it. Do that 10 times, then take a breath, and then do it again 10 more times. Then take a breath, then do it again 10 more times until you've done it 80 times. That's how we control the anal sphincter to the ileocecal valve. And that is the origin of internal exercise. And I'm sure you've heard of Kegel exercises, which are exercises that women do to be able to push the baby out. Men need to learn how to do Kegel exercises as well. So as we practice this, breathe out, hold the breath out, and then push the anal sphincter out, pull it in, push it out, pull it in, push it out. And then we add in the abdominal muscles. That becomes the basis of the emotional washing machine. So we take the anger, we pull it in, we push it down. We take the worry, pull it in, push it in. We take the fear, pull it, push it down. We take the sadness and loneliness. So we take all of the emotions that are stuck, we pull them in to the lower dantian, and we do the washing machine, and then we literally fart it out. And that's how we develop the internal strength to get rid of the emotions. And that is the basis, that's the sweet spot of the emotional enema. So, do I need to repeat that? Is anybody that didn't hear it?
They heard you.
They heard me.
It's just
okay.
like, I'm a producer, so I like better sound.
You want to always get the better sound.
I was having little OCD there. Nah, but I was just playing around. But yeah, so I have a question for you, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm hearing emotional enema. That sounds really interesting. What if I said, do you have emotional enema for dummies? So
I don't deal with dummies. I don't play well with dummies.
Okay. I don't mean it like that.
I know what you meant.
But
I
you
mean,
know
there's a book series
like so
for
I
dummies.
wanted you to
right.
give like so. Reason why I asked you is because I wanted you to give like maybe minute step.
I just did. That was the whole. That was the whole point of doing the whiteboard. That was the step. That was it right there.
Right.
That's emotional enema for dummies there.
Okay, so we got it here. So we're gonna go through it. I want examples. So reason why I'm doing that is for some people they want to leave and they want to know how this would be like. So let's say you're doing acu tapping. How would that look like? Just minute details.
Okay. Minute details. There's 14 tapping points.
Can you tap one?
Okay, you're missing the point. It's a 3-hour class.
Right.
And you want a 30-second example of how acu-tapping works. Even though I have this problem, I fully and completely accept myself. Even though I have this problem, I fully and completely accept myself. Even though I have this problem, I fully and completely accept myself. Even though I have that does nothing. That doesn't teach me anything. It gives me no information. That's what like show me how acupuncture works. Okay, here's a pin. I'm going to stick it in your flesh. That doesn't tell me anything about acupuncture. Okay? So if you want to learn acupuncture, the first thing you have to learn is what is qi. You have to learn what is a meridian. You have to learn the meridian lines, and you have to be able to move the qi with the meridian. You got to trace it. You got to press each point. And then if I give you a pin, then you might be able to understand what is acupuncture. So there is no this for dummies.
Okay.
The only way to do this is to do it, and you got to dive in. You just got to do it. I'm telling you, there's all these steps to get rid of the stuck emotions that you've created since you were 9 years old, or if you were abused since you were 6 months old. Whatever that is, okay? You cannot watch this webinar and like, oh, I learned something how to deal. You're not going to learn how to deal with your emotions in this webinar. I'm just here to tell you that I've been doing this for 42 years and that I can help you get rid of your stuck emotions. And if you want the book, if you want the chapter, if you want the little piece that addresses your issue, go to patreon.com/Dr. Chi Love. That's the only way you're going to get it. There's no, oh, show me what acu-tapping looks like. Means absolutely nothing. You don't learn anything by me showing you what the tapping looks like.
So reason why I
no benefit whatsoever. You have to go through the whole course. Okay?
So that's the perfect answer to the question. Reason why I asked you that was that's what sometimes people think you can just learn it in one go. Like what do I do? We showed you the healing breath already. We showed you an emotional release dance.
No, I didn't show them the healing breaths. I did not.
We showed them fire.
No, I did not show them the 6 healing breaths. I'm going to show you the heart. The heart sound is ha, H-A-W. It's not ha. It's not that. It's ha. It's a exhale. It's a subaudible sound. That's what it sounds like. The heart's on the left. So you're going to push up. You're going to lean to the right. And you're going to go, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Now, we just did that 5 times. But if we were doing it for real, we would have done it 9 times, 18 times, 27 times, multiples of 9. Now, for the liver's on the right. The liver sound is shh, like be quiet, shh. So we're going to push up to the left because the liver's on the right. Now we're going to do that 9 times, 18 times, 27 times. Now, at the same time, there's a color visualization. So the heart is red, the liver is green. So what are we going to do? We're going to imagine a dirty green color. And as you continue to breathe out to the left, because the liver's on the right, that dirty green is going to change to a Kelly green. It's going to go from a dark green to a light green. And every time you breathe out, you're getting a lighter color and you're cleaning up that green. It's like a gradient. So that involves a visualization process. So you can't get this like that. You have to learn how to visualize. So how do we learn how to do the color gradient? Well, we start with our eyes closed with a light bulb or a lamp in front of us. And you can see the light through your closed eyelids. And then we get you to visualize the color green. And then you can see green through your eyelids. And then you practice this gradient. You practice changing the color. And then when we go to heart, it's red. When we go to the spleen, it's yellow. We go to the kidneys, it's black. We go to the lungs, it goes from dirty gray to white. So we're practicing visualization, we're practicing breath, and we're practicing a particular movement because each of the 6 healing sounds has a different movement. So that is a lot to learn. You're not going to get it like that. Like I said, it's a 3-hour seminar. And it's part of a 3-day seminar. So there's a lot to master if you want to control your emotions. Now, some people say, well, why is that even important? Why do I need to control my emotions? You don't need to control your emotions. What you need is to make sure that your emotions don't control you. What you need to make sure is that your emotional states don't allow you to make bad decisions. That's why you need to learn this. So
well, then, let's have a conversation for a little bit. Let's have a conversation. All right, so far this webinar, we've been talking about emotional enema. Are you emotionally constipated or do you have emotional diarrhea? Now, this is the portion of the webinar where you do some self-reflection for yourself. I always like to say, if you're going to invest your time to gain information, you might as well turn it into wisdom, which is application of the information. So once you apply what you've acquired, then it has been a good use of your time. So I'm going to do a little exercise with you if you choose to accept my challenge. And the challenge is get a piece of paper or something, or maybe like a journal or a white sheet, or maybe your phone note section or your computer, Google Docs. And think about, are you constipated? Do you hold everything in? Or do you just let everything go unfiltered and maybe not, you still keep it, but it's like you're not really letting things go when you're like, if you're going on with somebody, you're not letting it go. The emotion is still kind of being bottled up sometimes, because sometimes your external behavior is only a small fraction of the internal pain. So what I mean by that is sometimes you think, I'm having a diarrhea so I'm getting clean, but in reality you're still backed up. You got more stuff in there. So do some reflection to see why you're constipated and why you have diarrhea. It's kind of funny saying it, but
again, it's not a put down.
It's not a put
people
down.
Who
but
are.
So to ensure that it's not a put down, I get emotionally constipated sometimes. So we've been using this term within our own.
Sometimes.
Okay. A lot. I'm an emotion. Okay, I have constipation emotionally. Okay. So Linda says I hold it till I explode. Okay. So, but here's the thing. But here's the thing, though. I do let emotion go in a way that's healthy for me. It may not go all over you, but I'm gonna go to the bathroom in my mind. I'm gonna sort it out sometimes even
Process
an instant
it.
moment. I'm gonna process it.
You're going to process
I'm
it.
gonna make sense of it, and I'm gonna come to a conclusion, and I'm gonna have like, oh, closed case. Let's keep moving on. So that allows me to keep moving on. But I have a lot of constipation. Sometimes I hold it till I can't hold it, and I let it all go. But some people never let it go. You know what I mean? So that's why you do the self-reflection. That's what I've gotten from my self-reflection and all the journals I have. That's why I'm able to tell you exactly what I'm going through, because I've documented it down. So I keep repeating, journal. Make sure you do some self-reflection.
Journaling, affirmation, and meditation. Jam. Dr. Love Jam. And this is the biggest proponent of the jam, journaling, affirmation, and meditation. And last Friday, we did that. We did the jam. So we talked about the 12 affirmations and how for you to get your own notebook, put it under your pillow, and when you wake up every morning, you write down whatever the download was. And then you create a time twice a day to meditate. 10 minutes twice a day is great. 20 minutes is better, but that's all you need. If you meditate 20 minutes twice a day, that's really all you need. But that was last Wednesday's class. You can go back and watch that when you sign up at Patreon. Join the Qigong Tribe.
Joining the tribe is actually the next major step that I want everybody to make a commitment to. Now, why do I say that? This is a fraction of what we're doing all day, every day, right? Every day there's a ton of content we're putting out there. His mission has always been
health literacy
forever. And he's been doing that his entire life. But for the last 3 weeks, we've put some kidney fire underneath this. I say kidney fire is a joke.
We lit the fire. We pulled the trigger on what we've been talking about for 3 years.
Yeah.
So now he's mastered it. He's got the lingo. He's got the way to share it with you. And I have to commend him on his ability to share and engage people. Because I live in a cave. I live in my own little bubble. I don't let anything bother me. I don't let anything come in and mess with my worldview. But Eddie kept knocking on the door, teach me, teach me, teach me. And now I'm teaching him, and he's a very proud graduate. I'm proud of him.
You see, I've been repping, so if y'all been in the tribe, I've been repping the same outfit the whole week. Now, some people say, why are you telling me this? So why do you think I've been rocking Pride? Or like, I guess Pride is not a bad thing, you know? Because also I'm motivated. So now I had this goal to empower the millennial generation and take a holistic approach to life. And then now I wear this, I feel like, okay, I'm really going to do it for real. Because, like, I'm repping the Blue Dragon. I'm repping this man's legacy. So I wanted to make that legacy last. And that's why I have some people who follow me here. And you're here with us. So I'm introducing you to Dr. Love maybe for the first time. Or maybe you never saw me before and Dr. Love is introducing me for the first time. Which is most likely the case. But in the second case, you've seen my growth. So if you've seen my growth, right? So who do you think impacted that growth? He definitely was one of the biggest components. So let me tell you a story right quick. I remember when I was in the 9th or 10th grade and I saw a video of Eric Thomas and he was doing this video and there was this really muscular athlete preparing to go to the NFL or something. He actually was, to find out. But Eric Thomas had his audio overlaid underneath that. He had a major speech that says, if you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. So I'm listening to this. I'm an athlete, mind you. I'm playing like 7 sports. So like I'm seeing somebody working out. I'm like, that's going to be me. Like, I'm going to be the next guy in the NBA or in like the Olympics. So I was already focused on that video. And then after I watched that video, I was so amazed because Eric Thomas was like, only when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. Now, that's a powerful statement at it because breathing is the single most important thing you can do. And the only thing, if you stop doing, you're going to die.
4 minutes, you're
Only
done.
4 minutes, right? So I heard that speech. I went home and I wrote on my wall, I want to succeed as bad as I want to breathe. I wrote that sleep is for those who are broke. Now, I want you to listen to those components. Like, no, I literally wrote those. I remember those 2 lines. Sleep is for those who are broke, and I want to succeed as bad as I want to breathe. That's so backwards because that's where we are in this society. I wanted to become a millionaire, and I wanted to start this greatest company, and we're still gonna be millionaires, but an abundance of sharing, right?
We're already millionaires.
We're already
we're
millionaires.
millionaires in our hearts.
Exactly. But that's not the case. I was so success focused, meaning, oh, let me get this and that, and let me have this, and let me be this big
Material
entrepreneur,
things.
right?
Right.
And then I got led into health and wellness as a personal trainer. You know, I was much more, but now I'm more internally grounded. So, to make a long story short, I wanted to succeed as bad as I wanted to breathe. But when I met him 3 years ago, I want to breathe as bad as I want to succeed. Better yet, I want to breathe as successful as I already am. Can I get a snap? I want to breathe as successful as I already am. So what that means is because I'm so successful internally, I want to breathe like that. I want to like treat myself with royalty because the air is so powerful. Right? We taking in that, and then we're like, wow, that's so much power and oxygen. There's so much power in that, and what we excel actually feeds the trees, and what the trees give off feeds us. So now I want to breathe as bad as I want to succeed, and I want to sleep because I'm rich. And I don't want to sleep because I'm broke. I want to sleep because I know in sleep is where wealth is. So my life changed. That's my testimony, and I'm sticking to it. And he played a major component. So that's why I'm an advocate for a class that you can get for $25 a month. $25 a month. Every day you're going to be with us. You're going to do Qigong. You're going to learn. You're probably going to learn a lot of the things by just watching the videos. Every day you're going to get a piece of it.
I drop pearls all the time.
And then the tribe is awesome. Like, we've facilitated a Facebook group where we're like connected, and every day we're getting closer and closer. So, and the goal is to make that family orientation. And we are excelling through what people say is a storm. For us, it's not a storm. It's just, you know how they say there's like a calm before the storm? I like to say you got to be calm in the storm.
You got to be in the eye of the storm.
Yeah, exactly.
So I started collecting information 20 years ago, and I wrote 101 health secrets. And then later on, that became 144 health secrets. And then later on, that became 172 health secrets. Now we're up to 199. I've got 199 pearls of wisdom, and I will not cast them before swine. Mm-hmm. So that's why I don't play with dummies. You got to be serious. You got to be in it to win it. So this webinar was free just so we could share with you. You have access to all the stuff you've been looking for, the stuff that you never thought about. I call it the unasked question. Who are you and why are you here? Do you want to be enlightened? Do you want to be on a spiritual path? Do you want to be unburdened of all the stuff that holds you down? What is the true nature of reality? What is reality? Is religion the way? Is spirit the way? Is the way of the flesh? What is Taoism? What is Buddhism? What is Hinduism? So I have the answer to all of those questions because it's been my lifelong quest seeking the truth. And the truth is, in fact, relative to your geography. So we have a daily webinar. We have a daily podcast. We have a daily online Qigong class. And then in the evening, we have a Facebook Live for internal Qigong. And then every Friday, we've got the free webinar. And if you want the archive of all the past webinars, go to patreon.com, Dr. Chi Love. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you everybody for watching. So I always like to surprise him after he's like, I'm done, I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm out. Cause he's been doing this all day from 7 a.m.
Yeah, I've taught 4 online classes today.
Yeah,
4.
You've been on a roll.
Yeah.
Man, congratulations, man. You've been killing it. See, he's been putting in work, and all this stuff is out for you to watch for free. So you follow his Dr. Chi Love Twitter, Dr. Chi Love Facebook, Dr. Chi Love YouTube, Dr. Chi Love Instagram, and ask Dr. Love all over. Just say,
hey Siri.
No. Hey Siri.
I'm not sure I understand.
Hey Siri.
Go ahead.
Play Ask Dr. Love. So as you can see, Siri says, Ask Dr. Love podcast coming. No, you messed it up.
Now, is drinking 16 ounces of 9.0 alkaline water going to make a significant difference? No, not in a 24-hour period. But if you continually drink 9.0 over a month, 2 months, 3 months, you're going to bring up your normally hyperacid back to neutral. And
You heard that? That was a question in the chat, and he just answered it on Ask Dr. Love. And that was a question in the chat. So that means your cancers are probably not unanswered. They are probably answered on the Ask Dr. Love podcast. Available on your podcast app. I love y'all for joining. I love you for being. And Dr. Love, any message for everybody?
Well, your health is in your hands. Prevention is the only cure. And you've got to breathe well to be well. So, my friends, be well.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. Love Qigong.com to join the tribe. If you're going to join, say I'm committed in the chat. And for those of you committed, guess what? Every time I like to give you a sneak peek into the class. I've been doing it now after every webinar. For everybody who show up, I give you a sneak peek. I don't even tell them. I'm just like, executive decision, sneak peek into the Qigong class. So get yourself ready, get your space ready. We're going to do some Qigong.
Okay.
But he's out.
I'm out. And Love is my real family name. I didn't make it up. The shirt is from Indonesia. So, till next time.